and you're just walking out this like kind of middle path, when I think both people could be better served by being brutally honest up front and being okay with somebody being an amazing person, just not their amazing person. You know, one of the biggest things that I hate about romance advice and relationship advice in general in the whole space, which is why I try not to touch it, is that there is no objective measure for a relationship billionaire. So like somebody else can be married or in a relationship and I make a piece of content and they're like, well, you're fucking wrong because of X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, thing is that there's no way that anyone externally can see how healthy a relationship is internally. And so that's what I think makes it so hard about the space, because the only success metric we have is not divorced. The vast majority of marriages that I see, I would not want at all. Rory Sutherland said this, which I think is actually really interesting. He talked about how realtors should be advertising the negative aspects of a property to allow people to make better decisions. If you say, hey, it's, you know, I'm next to the pub area, for some people, that's gonna be a no-go zone. But for somebody who likes the nightlife, then it's gonna be a pro. But all realtors do is talk about the plus sides. But what you really want is the arbitrage between something that you are fine with that would, quote, devalue your property that someone else isn't fine with. And that's where the mismatches or the better matches actually happen. I think to the same degree people could approach dating that way, which is rather than say all the good things, like I'm hardworking, I'm in shape, whatever, state all the downsides, because if all of your downsides, someone's like, those things don't bother me, that becomes a very strong relationship, or has the makings of a strong relationship. Because then there's all the things that everyone has complained about of you, if they're cool with it, then they only get upside. If I'm fine with being on the bars when it's late, next to the metro, even though there's noise because I work from an office and I'm not home during the day. If I'm a guy and I'm not worried about being in a rougher neighborhood because no one's gonna necessarily approach me versus a single girl who's 100 pounds, then that's probably, that house, my match with that house is probably a good deal for me.